This just in, I'm not wearing any pants. Literally. What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning back in to the Pete's Basement Show. Happy Memorial Day. Hope everybody had fun at their barbecues and ate a lot and drank a lot and had some fun. And guys, as I sit here and drink my beer out of my Homer Simpson 2 alcohol beer mug, it's important that we remember the brave men and women who are fighting in our armed forces, and this is the reason that we even have Memorial Day in the first place, to honor them. I have my G.I. Joe American flag shirt on. I had possibly one of the greatest Memorial Day weekends ever. It was filled with barbecues and roasting marshmallows, and being the Guido that I am, I figured out that I could put some little pepperonis on the end of the stick too and roast them, and that was pretty delicious and well received amongst myself and my friends. There was amusement parks and chili dogs and beer and steak and big boobs and honestly, America. So thank you to everyone who made my weekend possible, and keep fighting and doing the right thing. We all appreciate it. Thank you very much. So let's move aside from the red, white, and blue for just a quick second, and let's talk reds and greens. I mean, Green Lantern 20 finally came out this week after a little mishap in scheduling, and Green Lantern Corps came out like a week or two ago, and everybody opened up that first page, and you seen the title that says Wrath of the First Lantern Epilogue, and we're like, what the fuck, yo? So everybody kind of pushed that one to the side and waited impatiently for Green Lantern 20. Now, I have gotten mixed reviews from people on this, people who have been with Green Lantern since Geoff Johns came onto the book 5-6 years ago, however long it was, and during Rebirth. Might have been longer than that. If you've read the back of the book and his farewell letter, it totaled out to something a little over 100 issues that he's written. It's a pretty epic run. I have overall enjoyed it because before Geoff Johns, I never was into Green Lantern. You know, I read a little bit here and there. I read the Parallax Saga, of course, because that was pretty badass. But beyond that, it was cool. I read a little bit of Kyle Rayner whenever Hal Jordan as Parallax would show up, because all of a sudden he had a cape and he was a bad guy and he was badass. But other than that, he was all right. Whatever. But before Geoff Johns showed up, I didn't have any familiarity with the character. I didn't have any attachment to it. Now I own just about every T-shirt in the spectrum, and I have Geoff Johns to thank for that. So as much as some people will say he's long-winded and he tells these big epic tales in 12 and 15 issues that could probably be broken down into 6, I've still overall enjoyed the man's work on Green Lantern. I can't say too much bad shit about it. There have been parts where I've been like, alright, get the fuck on with it. But overall, I think it's been really great. This past story arc with Wrath of the First Lantern, you find out that this guy is a human from another universe who ventured back in time and basically accidentally started the universe that the Guardians were in, that the DC universe is in. They started it with their own little lantern device thing in their universe, and it tore open a big bang that started this universe that Krona had gone back in time to witness, and that's how the First Lantern came about. He came into that universe and absorbed the powers of light and the emotional spectrum, and just became a really nasty motherfucker, because he just had the power of a god, and ultimate power corrupts ultimately, and all that jazz. So, when he was finally freed, he set about just making constructs out of history. He was rewriting history as he saw fit, and this was kind of why the Guardians shut themselves off from emotion, because he scared the bejesus out of them. And it came down to the little blue bastards finally getting what was coming to them after trying to pretty much wipe out the entire universe themselves and make everybody an automaton under their rule. Hal Jordan came back as the leader of the Black Lanterns. Sinestro took over the essence of Parallax and became like the ultimate Yellow Lantern. This was some crazy ass shit, man. This book literally had everything. Every being, every color, everything that you saw during Jeff Johns' run came back for this book. It was a double-sized book. You saw fucking Necron and, like I said, Black Lantern armies and the Yellow Lanterns and the Indigo Tribe and Red Lanterns. Everybody settling scores and killing and fucking handshakes that you never thought would happen, and people just doing crazy heroic stuff that you turn around and say, wow, that was out of character and that was really awesome for this dude, and other characters really taking a moment to shine in a way that you, after so long, you really kind of hope that they do. I'm not trying to spoil nothing for nobody, but I hope everybody did read it. I will say that Sinestro looks badass in a cape. It's about time. He became one of my all-time favorite characters. Just ever since the Sinestro Corps war years ago, and ever since then, he's been building up, and he's really been showing his true colors, and not only just as a bastard and archenemy of Hal Jordan, but as the hero that he could have been, should have been, and still deep down wants to be. Because he's not an asshole like everybody says he is. He's not trying to conquer the world. He's just trying to, work the universe the way he thinks is best for it to work. Not necessarily under his rule, but that's probably what's best because he knows everything. He's the smartest. He's pretty arrogant. But overall, he's not trying to fuck anybody over except maybe Hal. He's just trying to bring order to the universe in kind of a bit more of a sane way than the Guardians do. And one of the best lines I found at the end of the book was, Hal Jordan and Sinestro have their ultimate big fight and everything, and I ain't gonna say who comes out the winner, but I'm more or less, maybe you could call it a draw or whatever, but it's a pretty unexpected conclusion to the fight, and because you really think, like, Hal Jordan, along with a lot of other heroes, are kind of bleeding heart liberal bastards, and they're like, everybody can be saved, and we can't do that. No, it's wrong. And Sinestro's like, we can't do, dude, it's done already. Like, you're a little late on the draw. And I thought that was a fucking awesome ending. And one of the lines that I really liked was Sinestro and Hal talking, and he's like, listen, I'm not going to give up on you. You can be a hero. I saw the kind of Green Lantern that you are. It's like, where you can be a hero. And he's like, listen, I'm done now. I'm not doing this no more. What I wanted is done, and I'm hanging up my ring. Arkillo can take over the Sinestro Corps, whatever. I'm done. And he turns to Hal, and he's like, Hal says to him, through all of this, through all the fighting and the backstabbing and the trying to kill each other and everything, he's like, just really tell me, you were my teacher. Were we ever friends? And he says, Hal, the thing that's been always the most difficult about this is we are friends. And that's basically like where the book ends, and you're left with a couple of little clues as to what happens to him. They don't really say. They pretty much close out with what happens with everybody, with Ganthet, with Sade, with Guy Gardner, Kilowog, Kyle Rayner, everything. And of course, they end it there, but then the rest of the stories after 20 will just be, I guess, backtrack issues or whatever, but it'll finally be cool to see how the Green Lantern saga and the characters progress after Jeff Johns. This is, like it or not, whether you like the run or not, whether you like the man, whether you like his writing, whatever, this is the end of an era. This is going to be really interesting to see how the characters progress now that they don't have these big arcing stories umbrellaed over them. So, hopefully it gives the characters all a chance to grow and gives some more characters a chance to shine. I really did like the Guy Gardner, the story that went on in Green Lantern Corps as the epilogue when he went after that crazy, tendrilled dreadlock villain, Czar? What the fuck was his name? I don't remember. But the Guardians let this pink dude go and kill the rookies that Guy Gardner was teaching, and then without the Guardians around to keep this crazy bastard on a leash, he went to try and kill Guy Gardner's family, and Guy was not having that. So that was really a fun and crazy issue, and it really showed Guy Gardner's true spirit. He's always been a real badass character. I've liked him a lot, but they never really gave him that hero's welcome, if you will. Like Hal Jordan's always been the Green Lantern hero, and Guy Gardner's been the sarcastic badass that he's always been in the shadow of Hal Jordan. But now, in this particular book, you really get a sense of, I think, more of the character than you've seen in the previous couple of years and issues, because Guy has kind of been struggling a lot in his own book in, Green Lantern Corps. It's been a good run. I look forward more so to see what happens with John Stewart. Last we saw, he was banging around with Fatality on Mogo, and she was like, "John, Mogo can see us," and he was like, "Yo, I'm into that, whatever. It's a big-ass planet. He's watching us. He's feeling this right now. So whatever. He's got my ass in his face. It is what it is." Kyle Rayner's still running around with the white light, and they made him like a Jesus character, and he's healing people and shit. That was pretty interesting. But like I said, it'll be fun to see where these books go now, and I'm still going to stick around, obviously. I'm on Green Lantern probably for life now, or at least until the stories get boring. I'm going to give it an arc or two, and let's hope for the best. In the meantime, guys, thank you for sticking around with Pete's Basement. Sorry I missed you last week. I had a flood in the basement after that fucking torrential monsoon that we saw in New York. So, cleaned up my shit, got the basement back under control, and that's for Ramon wherever he is. We will continue with these Pete's Basement hiatus segments, and the boys will be back at the end of June. And be sure to subscribe to the Pete's Basement Extras channel. The boys and I came together and we had a big meeting, and we talked about a whole bunch of fun stuff that we're going to do with that channel. And it's not just going to be for these like little extra, hiatus videos that we're putting up right now. We got a whole big plan for you guys. We got great things coming to the Pete's Basement show in the future. So stick around, have a drink, have some pizza, have some burgers. America, fuck yeah, and we'll see you in a week.